Hello, this is Angela Leong with Lab07. We'll be going over how to create a standard and distributed virtual switch and port group. So for task 1, we're going to view the current standard virtual switch configuration. So I'm already on the page, but to get there, we just click on ESXi1 host, and then onto the Manage tab, Networking, and then Virtual Switches, and we can see that it's vSwitch0. So for the next task, we're going to create a standard virtual switch. So we're on the networking tab and then virtual switches. You click on add host networking, and then we'll just go through the prompts. So we're going to create a virtual machine group for standard switch. Next, we're going to create a new standard switch, and then we're going to add a new active VMNIC1, and then we're going to name it production, and then hit finish. And now when we click on vSwitch1, we can see that production is listed here. For task number 3, we're going to attach a virtual machine to a virtual switch port group. So we clicked on the VMware Templates tab, and then we right click on the test VM01, right click, go to edit settings, and then we expand this network adapter and then change it to production. And hit OK. And then I'm just going to turn on the VM by going over to Actions, Power, and Power On. And then I expanded the VM hardware, and it shows that the network adapter shows up as production. So once that's done, then let's go ahead and it shows that it's connected. So once that's done, let's go ahead and power it down. For task 4, we're going to create a distributed switch. So let's go over to the networking tab, and then we right click on training data center, and then distributed switch, and then new distributed switch. And then let's just go through what's labeled. So the name is IP-DVS, and the latest and greatest distributed switch 6.0.0. We're going to change the uplinks to 1, enable default, check default, and then we're going to name the port group IP-PG-production. And then finish. Once that's done, we should see it appear here under the networking inventory list. For task 5, we're going to attach the ESXi host to a new distributed switch. So we just right click, add manage host. We're going to add a host. We're going to add those two hosts, ESXi1 and 2. And then we're going to uncheck manage VM kernel adapters. And then we're going to assign the uplinks to VMNIC 2 here and for host 2, and then no impact, and finish. So for task 6, we're going to examine our distributed switch configuration. So I already clicked on it, and then go to settings and then topology, and then if we expand it, we see that host 1 and 2 have the uplink for this. And then when we go over to the properties, we can see that there's one uplink, 10 ports, and the MTUs is 1500 bytes. And then when we go over to IP-PG production, check the manage and settings, we can see that the port bindings are static binding, the port allocation is elastic, and there's 8 ports. For task 7, we're going to migrate the virtual machines to a distributed switch port group. So we just right click on IP-DBS, go to migrate VM to another network. We're going to choose a production network, and we're going to choose a destination as the IP-PG production. We're going to choose a test VM01, and then finish. Now we're going to check our settings for this switch. We go to related objects, click on hosts, make sure that the 2 hosts are here, ESXi1 and 2. And then if we click on virtual machines, we can see our test VM is also here. And that's it.